All right, this is the tutorial for the practice 1B, which is doing simple reflections uh, with a more complicated paragraph instead of just a simple one sentence thing. So this is going to take it up a little bit notch. We've got a fairly chatty client here, and the challenge will be how to reflect back, how to pick out what to reflect and reflect it back. So I'm not Juliet doing Francais, I'm Sky doing English. All right, here we go. Welcome, Sky. Let's dive right in. Oh my gosh, here's a whole paragraph. Now, this is friendly. It's telling us that it's contemplation stage, which means there's going to be a lot of ambivalence. Let's see how it's going. I've been thinking a lot about it lately, the whole idea of eating healthier, maybe losing a bit of weight. Read a lot of articles, talking with friends. It's inspiring in a way, but there's the ambivalence. I also feel a bit overwhelmed. I love my current routine despite knowing it's not best for me. So here's another despite. So here's another potential double-sided reflection. Like my late slaps and skipping breakfast because I'm in a rush. So this person already knows a lot about eating healthy and eating not healthy. They've already got several thoughts about it. We could reflect those back. It's not like I haven't tried. Now they're telling us what they've tried. Somehow I always slip back to my old habits, of course. Relapse is a standard part of the stages of change, especially around eating, particularly around sugary things. Oh my gosh. A lot of relapse happens in that because there's so much pressure in our society and in our families. What do you mean you're not going to eat grandma's double chocolate cake for her birthday? She's 95 years old. Have some cake. That's how it goes, right? I guess I'm just wondering if it's truly worth the effort and if I can actually stick to it. So there's a lack of confidence here, or maybe low confidence. And also not sure if it's really important enough, if it's worthy of the effort, or if I can stick with it. So we've got, medium to low confidence and medium to low importance. Healthier lifestyle without feeling like I'm missing out on things I love. Right. Now, your job. Here's the thing that beginners sometimes, it makes it so much harder for them. Sometimes a beginner will think, oh my gosh, I've got to reflect everything back. And they wind up doing this beautiful summary reflection. And you remember everything you reflected all back. And the client says, yeah, you got it. And then there's no place to go. So do yourself a favor if you're willing to take my advice here. Uh, you don't need a summary reflection here. Summary reflections, the purpose of a summary is when you're going to make a transition. But here this is basically an opening statement. It's a focusing statement. And let's just try to focus on one thing and one thing only. That is going to move the conversation forward in a way that a summary would not. So as it says here, what's your response? Try to focus on just one thing at a time, 2 lines max. 2 lines max. So here's 10 lines, and we're going to reflect with just 2 lines. It's like the game hot potato. You want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. So we want to demonstrate empathy. We want to show them that they're listening. And the thing that we reflect back is going to steer the conversation in that direction. Let's say, I'm going to go with it's inspiring in a way. Let's see, I've read articles and talked to friends. It's inspiring in a way. So do we want to go for that, or do we want to side with how hard it is? I don't want to expert up and say, well, relapse is a part of any change system. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking that, but I think I'm going to go with the opening statement. Frequently, the client gives us the key in the first thing they said. I'm going to say, yeah, you've really been thinking about this a lot lately. That's simple. That simple. All right. I don't need to work so hard here. Right. Now, later on in the next practice, we will have an ongoing conversation and we'll have a chance to see how the client responds to my saying, yeah, you've been thinking about this lately. But for now, we're just going to practice picking out of this whole chatty paragraph. And by chatty, I mean this in a positive way. Everything here is important. The challenge here is, what are you going to shine the flashlight of your attention on? So let's try the next one. A stage of change preparation, that's friendly. Decide to take a leap and start my own business. It's something I've been dreaming about doing for years. It feels like I've finally gathered the courage to do it. I have a solid business plan. I've started saving money. Of course, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty. What if I fail? What if I can't make ends meet? These are nice questions the person's asking of themselves. You could turn that back and say, yeah, what if you failed? Yeah, what would you do then? Right? Rather than say, oh, yes, a lot of people fail, but they get back up again, or it could be an encouraging thing. Yeah, you'll probably get up again and try again. But we want to keep the ambivalence within the client rather than create a conflict between us. We want the conflict to be within the person. Yeah, what if you fail? That's a question you're asking yourself. But then I think about the potential and the freedom I could have. These are values. I'm going to make an affirmation out of this. And it just feels right. Oh, here's something that's beyond words. There's like a feeling to this, whether it's an intuition or a physical feeling in the body. I'm committed to making this work. So there's high commitment. I know it won't be easy, but I'm ready. We could take that butt out, and I'm ready for the challenge. I just hope I'm making the right decision. Yeah, 2 lines max. What do you want to do here? Do you want to do a double-sided reflection? Do you want to say, yeah, you're ready to commit to this, and you're just not sure what the right decision is? Or I could flip it around and say, you're not, even though you're not sure, or you're not sure what the right decision is, and you feel like you need to do something. Something's calling you. I'm gonna go with that one. Something's calling you to make a change. That's what I'm gonna say. I like that one. Something inside you is calling you to make a change and to do something you've been dreaming about for years. Okay, you see how I'm picking up on the dream here, something inside of you, it just feels right. Let's see what happens with this. I'm intending this to be a somewhat complex reflection because I'm pulling together, I'm helping to organize his or her deeper longings. And you see here the coach says, your response is a complex refrain. Good job, Sky. It delves deeper into the client's motivation, captures their excitement and determination. Now, this is great with someone who's giving us so much change talk. It said they weren't, that's why they're in preparation. They're not in contemplation. They've decided and they're ready to leap. So that's why siding with the change talk, they were giving so much to us, it just made sense. And that's why they are already out of ambivalence there. And you can hear that. It's just a little bit of a concern about the right direction, of course, but mostly moving in the direction of change. So I thought they were in contemplation. I had misread that, but I gave a good reflection back. Well done on exploring their aspirations. Yeah. Okay, pre-contemplation. Now, pre-contemplation means the client does not want to change. So if there's any ambivalence in this next paragraph, we probably want to side with the sustain. That is the side that wants to keep doing what the person wants to keep doing. We could affirm their autonomy here. My friends keep telling me that I should consider cutting out. See, the friends are already hassling them. They say it's not healthy, right? The client's not saying that. And especially I'm already sitting for long hours, but honestly, I don't see the problem, right? This is a classic pre-contemplation. They tell me it's a problem. I don't see it. I'm not the only one doing it. It's not like it's affecting my work. I just don't think it's that serious. That would be a good one. I could say, you don't see the problem. I could say, you don't think it's that serious. I enjoy scrolling. You enjoy scrolling. You enjoy screens. You enjoy video games and scrolling. So it helps you to wind down. See, all of these would be sentences I could say. I guess everyone has their own way of relaxing. We can come back and use that later on. And this is mine. I'm not really sure why they're so concerned. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to side really strongly on the I don't see a problem, because the client might start to think I'm like my friends and I'm going to start pestering them the way the friends are pestering them. So I want to make it very clear, I have no pony in this race. This is not my circus, not my monkeys. You can do whatever you want. I'm here. So that would be affirming the person's autonomy. You don't see a problem. And where's the other one? And you enjoy what you're doing. That's what I'm going to say. You don't see a problem with what you're doing, and you enjoy your time with social media and watching videos, period. It helps you to wind down. All right, so siding very firmly, that's exactly the way I would say it to the client, just as adamantly as theirs, or maybe even more adamantly than they're saying it to me. Let's see what the MI coach thinks I'm doing. I don't know if it will know what an amplified reflection is. Okay, so it sees it as complex. It's not exactly an amplified reflection. Your response is complex. It thoughtfully acknowledges the clients and their enjoyment. So excellent job capturing their viewpoint. That's what we want to do when somebody's in pre-contemplation. We want them to know that we are with them. We're capturing their viewpoint. It's like we've been invited into their living room and we've kind of let them know we're not going to start them moving the furniture around. We're just going to sit down and enjoy sitting in the living room with you. Okay, well, that's how it goes. I hope this has been interesting for you to see at least how one person thinks about this. This second practice is taking your reflections now to a new level. I want to encourage you, don't try to summarize a whole paragraph when you've got a talkative client. Find the one or two things, maybe mash them together, and that will provide direction for the conversation without asking a question, which is a very skillful thing to do. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you have a great rest of the day and a wonderful rest of the week. And I hope to see you back here next time. I think next time will be a full conversation. So we'll see what happens in terms of how the client responds each time you give a reflection. Have a wonderful rest of the day.